Right now in the Greater Toronto Area, buyers think they have control. Sellers think prices are coming back. And honestly, both are a little bit right and a little bit wrong. If you're planning to buy or sell in 2026, what's happening right now could either save you tens of thousands of dollars or even cost you tens of thousands of dollars. I'm Jure, everyone. I'm with the Bekavac team. I work with my wife, Lisa, here. And today, we're going to break down the real estate Greater Toronto numbers for March 2026 and what actually is happening on the ground. And where is the market heading next? Because this isn't a normal market, everyone. And you need to understand that. All right, let's dive into these numbers here. Numbers don't lie. So let's dive and see what's going on. Gives understanding where the market's at. So average sales from year over year, as you can tell, we have a little slight increase. So 5,390 units sold. As of last year of March 2025, there was a little 4,596 units were sold. So a slight increase, maybe a little over 1.7% increase for year over year. Now let's go the average price from year over year. We see a slight decrease. We're hovering now just over $1 million of average price sales in the Greater Toronto Area. So it's about $1,100,000 and about average $18,000. As was last year, we're looking at a $70,000 decrease in the sales for average price in the Greater Toronto Area. It was hovering over $1,090,000 last year. Let's get to year over year summary here. I love looking at this chart. It does stand out. So year over year, we did mention that earlier we were hovering, like I mentioned, 7% in sales active from year over year. As you can see, from year over, it's 1.7% increase for change. For new listing activities, there's a decrease about almost a 17% decrease. This year, we're new listings right now, a little 14,000 in the Greater Toronto Area, and last year we had over 17,000 listings. So homes are moving, as you can see. The numbers have come down about 2,000 units different from year over year. But buyers are jumping in. There's a lot of buyers waiting last year that wanted to holding back from the interest rates and stuff like that, and hoping the prices will come down, which they have, and they're back in the market. So we've been an influx of buyers. The number two changed also because we have some expireds too. That's probably paying a factor in that number as well. Active listings, we have about hovering over 21,000 active listings in the Greater Toronto Area. As of last year, we're hovering around 23,000 units in the market. So about another 2,000 units less from last year. This year, it's an 8% decrease from year over year. Average price went over about $70,000 decrease in that price, as you can see right there. It's a 6%, it's hovering 7% decrease in price. Average listing about 31 days to sell a home in the Greater Toronto Area. As for last year, it was about 24 days. It's a 30% increase. So hovering seven days more to sell a house in the Greater Toronto market. So let's dive into these numbers. I have to break down these numbers. I like to compare the 416 area. Sorry, I'm jumping all over here. The 416 area to the 905 area, so the Peel and Halton region. So as you go, detached homes right now, here we go. So we're going to look at the price difference, significant. The 416 area, detached homes are hovering just a little over $1.6 million. That's about a decrease from last year. You're looking about, you'll jump to about 6.4% decrease from year over year from last year. That's a significant drop. And the 905 area, over $1.2 million that are selling for detached homes in the 905 area. And that's about another decrease from year over year, about 6% decrease. Down here, you can see the percentage of a decrease in price. Let's go with semi-detached homes themselves. They're hovering well over $1.2 million in the 416 area. That's about from year over year, it's about an 8% decrease in price. For semis in the 905 area, it's hovering about $870,000 rounded up. And from year over year, it's about 7.6% decrease. Townhomes themselves, average price for townhomes in the 416 area, about $960,000. That's about a 1.9% decrease from year over year in price. Decrease keeps coming down. 905 area, we're looking at about $816,000 for a townhome, and that's about a 8.3% decrease from year over year. Sorry, I can't numbers there. Condos too. You're looking about $650,000 for a condo in the Greater Toronto area, and the Halton and Peel region 905 area. You're looking about $564,000 for a condo. Remember, this is all grouped together. Every pocket's different in the Halton region. For talking about Burlington, Oakville, Georgetown area, Milton, they're all different pockets compared there. In the Peel region, same in Mississauga. Every pocket is different. It's all clumped together. But you can see there's a decrease year over year coming down. The condo market there from Toronto, you're looking about 9.6% decrease, and in the Halton Peel region, we're looking at about 8.3% decrease from year over year. Great chart to look at comparing 416, which is the hub, compared to the 905 area. All right, what do we take out of those numbers? Let's start with the big picture here. March is showing us early spring activities starting to build up, but it's not starting to explode. Here's what we're seeing here at the Bekavac team. Sales are picking up slightly month over month. Inventory is still high than normal. Buyers are active. We know that now. We can see that. But they're cautious as well. Prices, they're holding steady in most of the areas in the Greater Toronto area. But this is not a hot market, everyone. Remember that. Now, this is not also a dropping market anymore price-wise. This is what we call, I think, a transition market here. And a transition market is where smart moves are being made. So most people, they wait for headlines to tell them that the market has changed. Guys, everyone, by that time, the opportunity is already gone. So remember that. All right, I'm going to break down a snapshot here of every pocket. So we're going to start from east all the way to west, from Toronto, Peel, and the Halton region. And we're going to start with Toronto because it's the hub. What happens to Toronto ripple effects outwards. So let's talk about Toronto. And this probably is the clearest example of a split market right now in the Toronto market, because it depends on what you're buying or selling. You're either in two completely different realities. We're going to break it down. On one side, condos are still soft in the market. More inventory, guys, more choices, and buyers can negotiate really hard now in the market for Toronto. And this is where buyers have more leverage right now. We're seeing prices have flexibility, longer days on the market, and opportunities that just didn't exist like this a couple of years back. On the other side, though, detached homes are strong in strong neighborhood are holding steady. We're starting to see some bidding wars in there, not everywhere, but there's also limited supplies and keeping prices supported for those certain pockets in Toronto. And this side of the market feels much more stable for the detached home. It's not hot, but it's definitely not weak here. On the luxury side, guys, when you've got a luxury segment here, home, which is moving, but they're slower in the Toronto area. Buyers at that level are very patient, and we know that, and they're very analytical when they're looking at these homes at these prices, and they're waiting for the right opportunities. So keep that in sight if you're a homeowner. So the key site here, insight line is, so when you hear about Toronto market, just understand it's not one market. It's multiple markets moving in different speeds. So remember that. In condos, there's an opportunity there. Freehold homes are stable. And if you're a buyer, this is where you can still find some deals, especially in the condo space market. And if you're a seller, guys, price wrong won't just cost you money, everyone. It'll cost you time, and time is the market what no one has today. And it's everything, guys. Time's everything. So in Toronto right now, you don't win by guessing. You win by understanding which side of the market you're in and playing it right. Remember that. All right, now let's talk about the Mississauga area. This is where I say strategy matters the most in today's market, because Mississauga isn't moving as one market. It's moving in price segments, depending where you are. So let's break this down. What we're seeing right now, it's a split depending on where you price your home. We know homes listed at 1.1 million have stronger activity because especially it's for first-time home buyers or entry buyers. And that's what most people are approved at, to be honest. 1.1 to 1.5 million range, there's more hesitation because buyers are taking their time at this price range. And the higher end homes, luxury homes, very slow because, and there's more negotiation room there. So depending your price point, your experience in this market can feel completely different in the real estate market in Mississauga. Buyers, right now, we know buyers right now are extremely informed in the market. They're watching comparable sales. They're tracking price drops. And they're not rushing to make a decision in the real estate market. And they're not emotional anymore. And they're very calculated. And that is the biggest shift from what we saw a few years back. Sellers, what does this mean for sellers? Very simple. You have to be sharp. Renovated, move-in ready homes we see are selling faster. People want turning keys. Lives are busy these days. That's what they're looking for. Homes that show well too are getting more attention. And your home or price or houses that are overpriced, we know they're sitting 45 over 60 days. Well, the longer you sit, guys, at that home, the more buyers will start questioning what's wrong with your property or your home, which gives you a black eye. All said, this is not a market, guys, where you can test the water. It's a market where you need to enter with a plan, which we do with all of our clients in the Bekavac team. Because right now in Mississauga, we know buyers are watching value. Sellers who understand that are the ones who are getting deals done. And this is what we explain to our sellers. I hope that helps out. All right, let's start with Oakville. And this is where the market becomes a lot more selective. Oakville has been one of the most desirable areas in the Greater Toronto area, especially the luxury buyers. But right now, luxury is still moving, just a bit slower and a lot more calculated. What we're seeing is buyers are taking their time. They're not rushing decisions. They're negotiating more and they're expecting more real value. Listen, gone are the days where high-end homes would sell overnight. Today, presentation, pricing, marketing are important now. They're everything, guys. An overpriced luxury homes, you see, they sit like an old man. They ain't gonna move. Well-positioned homes in today's market are still moving. And when they do sell, they're selling to serious qualified buyers, not to the old emotional buyers like we saw a few years ago. See, Oakville right now is a precision market. You need the right home, the right price, and the right strategy. Otherwise, you're just sitting, just like me, without moving. When you step back and you look at Oakville as a whole, everyone, this is where high-end is more of a selective market. Buyers are active, but they're very careful. Buyers are not overpaying anymore. They're not either rushing. They're expecting value. And with more inventory available, remember, as a homeowner, they have options. So sellers, that means more competition. And For buyers, we know that means more opportunities for them. Listen, Oakville right now is a great market where its pricing is right and it wins today in the market. And you position it right when you price it right, so it wins. Everything else, everyone, gets overlooked. Now let's talk about Burlington. Love Burlington. This is one of the most consistent markets where we see in the Greater Toronto right now. Burlington continues to attract families, move-up buyers, and even Toronto buyers are starting to look for more space and better lifestyle and a bit more value. That's what Burlington offers. And the demand is what keeps this market steady. What we're seeing here is pretty clear, everyone. Detached homes are holding their value. Family-friend neighborhoods, a lot of interest. And buyers, they're active, but still price conscious. This isn't a market where homes are flying off the shelves overnight, but it's also not a market that's slowing down. It's more of a discipline market. Buyers are taking their time. They're comparing their options and they're making smarter decisions. Burlington right now, value is what drives everything. If your home shows well, is priced right, and checks all the boxes, buyers are stepping in and they're stepping in confidence in the homes you're selling. As we know, close up. Bottom line is Burlington right now is a confident market where the right home priced properly still moves and they're moving well. And when you understand the market like this is where you start making smarter decisions, whether you're a buyer or seller. All right, here's a tip for buyers. Let's start buyers. This is where I see the biggest mistake happening right now in today's market. A lot of people are sitting on the sidelines waiting for the perfect time, waiting for the rates to drop, waiting for the prices to dip a little bit more. But here's the reality, everyone. Perfect timing does not exist in real estate. What exactly matters is value positioning. Right now, you have something that didn't exist a few years ago. Time to think, negotiate, and protect yourself from conditions. You can negotiate on the price, and you can ask for repairs, or you can structure a deal that works for you. But the moment the rate drops again, even a little slightly, things can change. More buyers can jump back into the market, competition could increase, and suddenly the leverage disappears. So instead of trying to time the market perfectly, focus on finding the right property in the right area at the right value. And think, guys, long term. Because real estate isn't about time in the market, everyone. It's about the time in the market. All right, our tip to sellers. This is where strategy matters even more than ever. The biggest mistake we're seeing right now is you're testing the market. Putting a price out there just to see what happens. Guys, that approach worked in 2021 and 2022, and it doesn't work today anymore. In today's market, buyers are educated. They're comparing everything, and they know what value is instantly. So if you come out of the gates overpriced, you don't create excitement anymore. You create hesitation. And hesitation kills momentum. Listen, the first 10 to 14 days of the market, that's your window. That's where lists get more exposure, the most attention, and the most serious buyers. And if you miss this window, everyone, you're not leading the market anymore. Guess what you're doing? You're chasing it. So guys, everyone that works with us, the Bekavac team, they win. Sellers win right now. We know that.
and one that shows up prepared and they know what's going on in the market and the home sell.
Well, everyone, if you're thinking about making a move this year, buying, selling, or even exploring your options, reach out here at any time. We're helping clients navigate exactly in the market today, every single day. And we have a strategy that matters more than ever right now. And that's key in today's market. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up. We post the Greater Toronto real estate market every month. No hype, just real insights. Remember that. I'm Jure. We're my wife Lisa here. I'm with the Bekavac team, and we'll see you guys in our next video.
Everything we touch turns to sold.